What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. The Aegean Sea is heating up and the balance of power that's been in a dead heat for years has officially shifted. Greece has commissioned its ultimate naval asset, the Kimon-class frigate, and its top-tier air defense umbrella is patrolling the Aegean as we speak. The million-dollar question right now is, how will Turkey, their historic rival across the water, respond? Can Turkey's pride and joy, the TCG Istanbul, survive this new reality? Or is this the end of Turkish naval superiority in the region? Today, we're doing a deep dive into the geopolitical chess match and the cutting-edge military tech that's redefining regional security. Let's get into it. To understand why this is such a massive deal, we first need to look at the sheer threat level of what Greece has operational right now. Athens dropped some serious cash on the Kimon-class frigate, internationally known as the FDI, built by France. The real terror of this ship isn't its guns or torpedoes, it's the fact that it acts as a floating air defense fortress. The beating heart of the Kimon is the French-made Sea Fire radar. This is one of the most advanced AESA radars on the planet. It can track multiple targets simultaneously in every direction, whether it's fighter jets, small drones, or even sea-skimming missiles. Basically, nothing slips past this radar. And once that god-tier radar locks onto a target, it feeds the data straight to the ship's main fangs, the Aster 30 surface-to-air missile. This is widely considered one of the most accurate and lethal missiles in NATO's arsenal, boasting a range of over 120 kilometers. Picture this. The moment a Kimon-class ship leaves the port, it deploys an invisible 120-kilometer dome around itself. A Turkish F-16 or an advanced drone could be within the Aster 30's kill zone the second it takes off from a coastal airbase. This is textbook anti-access area denial, or A2AD, and Greece is currently using it to put massive pressure on Turkey. But hold on a second. Greece's billion-dollar investment isn't just buying steel and missiles. The ultimate priceless bonus Greece gets in this deal is a powerful ally, France. This contract inherently pulls France, a nuclear power and a heavyweight in Europe, into Greece's corner. French President Emmanuel Macron has already taken a hardline stance against Turkey's expansion in the Mediterranean. With the Kimon now in active service, Paris is sending a clear warning to Ankara. If you want to make a move in these waters, you have to get through French technology first. It's also worth noting Greece's smart procurement strategy. While many expected them to go with American options like the MMSC, Athens chose the FDI because it was built from the ground up for the high-intensity combat unique to the Aegean. This is a digital ship featuring a dedicated cybersecurity center and a design that prioritizes data sharing and electronic survivability. By choosing the FDI, Greece isn't just following NATO norms, they're specializing in a specific type of naval dominance that makes them a regional gatekeeper. And we can't ignore the elephant in the room, the United States. The stance of the US adds a whole new layer of tension to this geopolitical chessboard. As we know, both Greece and Turkey are NATO allies, but over the past few years, relations between Washington and Ankara have been incredibly rocky, especially after Turkey was kicked out of the fifth-generation F-35 fighter jet program. Meanwhile, Greece got the green light to acquire their own F-35s. This situation leaves Turkey feeling isolated from their Western allies. Knowing they're facing a severe disadvantage in the air against Greek F-35s, Turkey's rapid development of a strong surface fleet through the MILGEM project isn't just an option, it's their only lifeline to maintain leverage in the region. So, seeing Greece's massive advantage, what is Turkey doing about it? They definitely aren't just sitting on their hands. Their answer is the MILGEM project, a shipbuilding initiative relying on 100% domestic technology. The TCG Istanbul frigate is now in service and stands as a true source of Turkish pride. It's designed as a multi-role vessel that shines in surface warfare. It's armed with the Atmaca anti-ship missile, which Turkey had developed in-house. It has an incredible range of over 220 kilometers, pinpoint accuracy, and can easily punch through enemy armor. If this was just a surface-to-surface gunfight, the Istanbul wouldn't be the underdog against the Kimon.
What makes the Atmaca even more dangerous is Turkey's push for ITAR-free resilience. Turkey has developed the Kale KTJ 3200 engine domestically, ensuring that no foreign government can pull the plug on their missile supply chain in the middle of a conflict. This level of self-sufficiency means Turkey can produce and fire these missiles at will, regardless of international sanctions or political pressure. But let's be real, the world isn't perfect. The Achilles heel of the TCG Istanbul is its air defense system. Turkey opted for their domestic HİSAR-D missile system. While it's a solid piece of homegrown tech, its effective range caps out at around 35 to 40 kilometers. When you compare that to the Greek Aster 30's 120-kilometer range, you're looking at a 3-to-1 disadvantage. This means in a one-on-one duel, the Greek frigate can lock on and fire long before the Istanbul even gets close enough to return fire. That is a massive tactical disadvantage Turkey is forced to deal with right now. So how does Turkey level the playing field when they're outgunned in a head-to-head fight? They are looking a few steps ahead. They know that trading blows with an air defense powerhouse is suicide. Instead, Turkey is pivoting to asymmetric warfare. Rather than fighting ship to ship, they plan to use what they do best, drone swarms. Turkey is heavily relying on brutal unmanned assets like the TB3, the Aegean Sea, and even the Kızılelma, their jet-powered UCAV. Imagine this combat scenario. The Sea Fire radar on the Kimon might light up with dozens of incoming targets, but they won't be expensive fighter jets. Instead, it's a massive swarm of kamikaze drones and unmanned surface vessels rushing in from all directions. The Kimon might be forced to burn through its multi-million-dollar Aster 30 missiles just to shoot down relatively cheap Turkish drones. This tactic is designed to overload and deplete the enemy's air defense system. Once Greece's missile tubes are empty, that is exactly when the TCG Istanbul breaks its stealth to launch the lethal 220-kilometer Atmaka missiles. This is the art of modern warfare that Turkey is prepared to unleash. How do you perfectly coordinate dozens of drones to attack all at once? They aren't just flying blind. The secret weapon hidden behind the TCG Istanbul is its combat management system, known as Advent, developed entirely by Turkey. This system is essentially the central brain. It turns the frigate into a floating server that connects with airborne drones, surface USVs, and fighter jets in real time. This is true network-centric warfare. It means that even if the Istanbul's radar can't see a target, a tiny drone flying 100 kilometers away can spot it, instantly feed that data back to the ship, and the Istanbul can launch an over-the-horizon strike. But Turkey's strategy goes even further: electronic warfare. Turkey's Coral system is designed to blind enemy radars from miles away. By flooding the Kimon Sea Fire radar with electronic noise, Turkey could make the Greek frigate see ghosts, or even worse, nothing at all. If the Aster 30 missiles lose their radar lock, that 120-kilometer no-fly zone suddenly becomes a lot more porous. This software and electronic hardware integration is the real nightmare Turkey is bringing to the Aegean Sea. Beyond the surface, there's another shadow war happening beneath the waters. Both Greece and Turkey are locked in an intense submarine arms race. Greece operates the highly advanced Type 214 submarines, while Turkey is countering with its race-class submarines equipped with AIP technology. With the underwater theater this heavily contested, the TCG Istanbul isn't just playing target practice for the Kimon, it's equipped with advanced sonar and torpedoes, acting as a dedicated sub-hunter to protect the Turkish fleet from underwater ambushes. All of this fits into Turkey's broader Mavi Vatan, or Blue Homeland doctrine. Ankara isn't just building ships for show, they're aiming to control over 460,000 square kilometers of the sea. By securing their own technology and supply lines, Turkey is positioning itself as an independent maritime power that doesn't need to ask permission from Brussels or Washington to defend its interests. To give you a clearer, in-depth picture of exactly how these two ships stack up, I've put together a head-to-head spec comparison table. Let's take a look.
Looking at these specs, the difference in capability is crystal clear. Turkey's TCG Istanbul, at roughly $350 million, is an incredible value for domestic tech. Even though its air defense is capped at 40 kilometers, it compensates by packing 16 Atmaka anti-ship missiles, double the capacity of the Greek ship, and those missiles reach out over 220 kilometers. But then we look at the Greek Kimon. At $1 billion per ship, it is the absolute pinnacle of naval technology. It's larger, tougher in rough waters, and despite its size, requires a smaller crew thanks to heavy automation.
With the 300-kilometer Sea Fire radar and 32 Aster 30 missiles, it is an undisputed air defense fortress. This investment is fundamentally rewriting the rules of engagement in the Aegean. This arms race is a massive economic gamble and a battle for global optics. Greece is writing huge checks for security while clawing out of a debt crisis. Turkey, facing skyrocketing inflation, relentlessly pushes the MILGEM project to build an arms export empire. They are swallowing economic pain today to build a massive new pillar for their economy tomorrow. At the end of the day, Turkey's strategy of buying time with drone swarms and the TCG Istanbul will have to hold the line until their ultimate trump card, the TF-2000 air defense destroyer, is finally ready. Moreover, once Turkey's homegrown 5th-gen fighter, the Khan, integrates into the Advent network, Greece's air umbrella will meet its ultimate match. So, what do you guys think? Will the god-tier air defense of the Kimon-class be enough to fend off Turkey's deadly drone swarms? Or will the Istanbul's asymmetric strategy shock the world? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.